Have you ever asked yourself, why is this happening to me? Or when will this pain end? Maybe you're sitting quietly, but your heart feels like it's carrying 1,000 bricks. Maybe your smile outside hides a storm inside. Why do some days feel so heavy, even when nothing big has happened? Imagine this. Someone loses their job, and instead of panic, they just sit peacefully with a cup of tea. Not because they're careless, but because they understand that life changes and pain doesn't stay forever. This isn't magic. It's a mindset, a way of looking at life, deeply rooted in Buddhist wisdom. So, if you're stuck in a dark time where everything feels like it's falling apart, what if that moment is not the end, but the beginning? What if this pain is not a punishment, but a hidden lesson waiting to show you something powerful about yourself? Before we dive deep into the truth of survival through hard times, we want to say something important. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please don't just watch and go. If you find peace here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Wisdom Woven. That one click can help us reach more hearts just like yours. Now let's begin. In Buddhism, pain is not something to be avoided. It's something to be understood. The Buddha never promised a life without problems. He only promised that there's a way out of suffering. That path starts not by running away, but by stopping and looking deeply. When someone's going through a bad phase, they often ask, why me? But Buddhism gently asks instead, what can I learn from this? It teaches that nothing is permanent, not joy, not sadness, not even this phase. Every breath, every moment is moving. So why hold on to the pain as if it will stay forever? In this series, you will not find empty motivation or false promises. You will find real, grounded wisdom. You'll learn how Buddhist thought invites you to accept your pain, understand it, and slowly, gently, walk through it. Stay with us. A shift is coming, not in your life first, but in your mind. And that's where true survival begins. The root of suffering and Buddhist perspective on pain. Come, sit down. Be still. Just breathe. Let's talk gently. You are not weak because you feel pain. You are not lost because you don't know what to do. Every human heart breaks. Every mind feels confused sometimes. This is not your personal failure. This is the nature of life. In Buddhism, we don't hide from suffering. We turn towards it. We don't say, don't be sad. Instead, we say, let's understand where this sadness comes from. Only when we understand suffering can we truly be free from it. Buddha saw suffering everywhere, in rich homes and poor streets. He saw in young faces and old hands. He saw that no one escapes it. So he asked a simple question, why do we suffer? The answer was not in the stars or in luck. It was something close, something inside. The Buddha called it dukkha, a deep discomfort of life. Not just physical pain, but emotional pain. The pain of wanting something and not getting it. The pain of getting something and fearing to lose it. We suffer because we want life to be different than it is. We want people to act a certain way. We want situations to go our way. And when they don't, our heart tightens. Our mind spins. That's where the suffering begins, from craving, from clinging, from resistance. Look at this clearly. Imagine someone is holding hot coal, waiting to throw it at someone who hurt them. Who burns first? The person holding it. That's how anger works. That's how attachment works. We hold on to memories, to people, to control, and we get burned. The Buddha didn't say, don't feel. He said, feel clearly. Watch your feelings. Don't let them drive you blindly. Think about this. You're walking barefoot and a thorn enters your foot. You feel pain. That's natural. But what if you kept pressing the thorn deeper? That's what the mind does when we keep thinking about the pain again and again. There's a story. A man is shot by an arrow. Instead of removing it, he keeps asking, who shot me? Why me? Was it fair? All the while he bleeds. The Buddha said, remove the arrow first. Heal. Then seek the answers. We often make our suffering worse by asking the wrong questions at the wrong time. Instead of, why me? Try asking, how can I take care of this pain right now? That question changes everything. Bad phases are not punishments. They are invitations. They say, look closely. Something wants to be seen. It could be your attachment to a person, your fear of being alone, your resistance to change. Pain is not random. It's trying to show you something. But we have to stop running. We have to sit with it. Not judge it. Just be with it. Like sitting beside a crying child. You don't scold the child. You don't tell it to be quiet. You hold it. You listen. That's how we treat our suffering. The Buddha taught mindfulness not as a luxury, but as a necessity. If you're not mindful, your thoughts will carry you like a river during a storm. You'll go wherever the pain takes you. But if you're mindful, you become the one watching the river, not the one drowning in it. Let's make it simple. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need to sit in a cave. You just need to notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. Notice your reactions. That's the beginning. That's the medicine. You may say, but my pain is too deep. Yes, it may be, but so is your awareness. Deeper than any emotion is your ability to observe that emotion. When you sit quietly and breathe, you're touching that deeper part. Understand this. Suffering is not always in what happens. It is in how tightly we hold onto what happens. A bad phase hurts more when we keep replaying it, retelling it, resisting it. What if we soften a little? What if we let go just a little? You don't have to solve everything today. Just understand this one thing. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. When you listen to it without fear, without judgment, it becomes your friend. So if you're going through a storm right now, remember, the storm is outside. Don't let it enter your mind. Stay rooted in the present. Stay awake to what you're feeling. Let it rise. Let it pass. Like clouds in the sky. You're not the pain. You're the space in which the pain is happening. And that space, your awareness, is peaceful always. The Buddha walked through many storms before he found peace. He did not escape life. He embraced it fully. And in that deep embrace, he discovered something unshakable inside. You can too. Not by force. Not by pretending everything is fine. But by being real. By being present. By breathing through the hard moments. By watching your suffering instead of being trapped inside it. There's no shortcut, but there's a clear path. Step by step. Breath by breath, thought by thought, you can survive this bad phase. Not just survive, you can grow from it. Let this be your first step, not to escape the pain, but to understand it. That is where the healing begins. That is where the Buddhist path starts, not in perfect peace, but in honest suffering. And then, slowly, it leads you home. Impermanence, the truth that nothing lasts forever. Come, sit with me for a moment. Let your breath slow down. Let your shoulders soften. You've been holding too much, haven't you? I know what you're going through. The pain, it feels endless. The sadness sits in your chest like a stone that won't move. Days pass, but the weight stays. You wonder, is this how it will always be? And in that question, you feel even more lost. But let me share with you something the Buddha taught. Something quiet. Something powerful. Everything changes. Yes, everything. Your joy, your pain, your confusion, your clarity. Nothing stays still. Nothing stays forever. The name of this truth is impermanence. Have you ever watched clouds in the sky? One moment, they're fluffy and white. The next, they're dark and heavy. Then the wind comes, and they're gone. The sky is always changing. And so is life. Even the worst moments, the ones that feel like they'll break you, they don't last forever. Your mind may scream, this will never end. But that voice is just fear. The truth is it always ends. Sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. But it moves. The Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. What does this mean in daily life? It means that if your heart is hurting today, it won't always hurt like this. The shape of the pain will change. It might become softer. It might teach you something. It might become a memory, but it won't stay exactly the same. Have you noticed how even your own thoughts change? One moment you think, I can't do this, and the next moment you're sipping tea and watching the rain. You didn't force anything. Life just moved as it always does. Pain feels heavier when we believe it's permanent. When we believe, this is my life now. But that belief is not true. It's just a passing thought, just like all the others. Let me tell you a small story. A student once came to a Zen Master and said, Master, I am in deep pain. My world has fallen apart. The master nodded and gave him a small bowl of water. He stirred some salt into it and asked the student to drink. The student sipped and said, "It tastes bitter." Then the master led him to a large lake. He stirred the same amount of salt into the lake and said, "Now drink from here." The student did and said, "It tastes like water." The master smiled. "Your pain is the salt. It's the same, but the size of your mind is the water. Make your mind like the lake. The salt will dissolve. When we understand impermanence, our mind grows wide like that lake. The pain is still there, but it no longer controls us." Now, you might ask, if everything is temporary, then what's the point of holding on to anything? That's a wise question. Buddhism doesn't tell you to reject love or happiness. It only says, enjoy them deeply, but know they will change. That way, when they do change, you don't suffer from surprise. A bad phase is just a season. You're not winter. You're not the cold. You are the earth, and the earth survives all seasons. Sometimes you cry in the night and feel ashamed of those tears. Don't be. Even rivers overflow. Even the sky breaks in a rain. Let it pass through. You don't have to stop the storm. You only need to know it will end. The practice is not to escape suffering. The practice is to see through it. To say, I see you, but I know you won't stay long. Impermanence gives us both comfort and courage. Comfort, because no pain is forever. Courage, because we can face anything, knowing it will change. When your thoughts say, "I am broken," smile softly and reply, "Even this thought will pass." When your heart says, "I can't handle this," place your hand on your chest and say, "But this moment is already changing." You don't have to fight life. You only need to walk with it. One step, one breath, one change at a time. Even the darkest night ends with light. Not suddenly, but slowly. First a crack, then a glow, then a sunrise. If you can stay with yourself through the night, the morning will come to meet you. Remember this. No storm has ever stayed in the sky forever. And no bad phase will stay in your life forever. So today, just breathe. Just sit. Just notice. Let the clouds pass. Let the wind blow. Let the change happen. You don't have to fix everything. Just don't give up. Everything changes. Everything passes. And so will this. That is the truth. That is the path. That is the freedom. Now, let us sit in stillness, not to escape, but to see clearly. This too shall pass. Inner strength through mindful awareness. Let's sit quietly just for a moment, not to solve anything, not to fix the world, not to figure life out, but simply to notice. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. Notice how quickly your mind jumps from one worry to another. That noticing, gentle, quiet, patient, is the beginning of mindful awareness. And from that awareness, real strength grows. People often think strength means being tough, fighting back, showing power. But in Buddhism, true strength is the ability to stay soft in a hard moment. It's the ability to sit with pain and not let it turn into hate. That kind of strength doesn't come from outside. It comes from within, through mindfulness, through seeing things as they are. Bad phases shake us up. When life hurts, our first instinct is usually to run away. We distract ourselves. We blame others. We escape into thoughts, phones, TV, food, anything that takes us away from the present moment. But what if the very thing we are running from, this moment, is the only place where healing can happen? Mindfulness is not a difficult thing. It's not a big practice that needs special clothes, incense, or long hours of silence. It can begin right now. You just pause, take a breath, and notice what is happening in your body and mind, without judgment. If you're sad, you say softly to yourself, "Sadness is here." If you're afraid, you gently notice, "Fear is present." You don't have to fix it. Just see it. Hold it like you would hold a crying child. That is the path. One small example. Imagine someone is crying late at night. They feel alone. They open their phone and scroll through social media to forget. But the pain doesn't go. It only hides for a while. Now, imagine instead that same person closes the phone, sits with a candle, and simply watches their breath. Slowly, without trying to change anything, they say, "It's okay to feel this." That moment of sitting and allowing, That is strength. That is mindfulness. Mindful awareness is like a lamp in the dark. It doesn't remove the darkness all at once, but it helps you see your way through. When you're mindful, you begin to see the truth of things. You see that most of the suffering doesn't come from the event itself, but from your thoughts about it. You see how much pain comes not from now, but from carrying yesterday and fearing tomorrow. Buddhism teaches that awareness itself is healing. When you're fully present, even if the moment is painful, it becomes more bearable. You're not fighting it anymore. You are walking with it like a gentle friend. Slowly, the pain loses its sharpness. It becomes softer, quieter. Every time you become mindful, you train your heart. You train yourself to stay instead of escape. And with time, that staying becomes power. You no longer need the world to be perfect. You no longer wait for people to understand you. You begin to rest in yourself, no matter what happens outside. This inner strength doesn't mean you never break. It means you know how to gather your broken pieces, hold them gently, and breathe. It means you stop looking for strength in noise and chaos and find it instead in stillness and silence. Just like a tree bends in the storm but does not fall, you too learn how to bend without breaking. When you live mindfully, even small moments become sacred. Drinking tea becomes healing. Sitting quietly becomes medicine. Watching the rain becomes a reminder that everything passes. Mindfulness teaches you to stay awake, even in your pain, and that awareness slowly turns the pain into wisdom. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You just need to stay with yourself, kindly and gently. Every breath taken in awareness is a return home. And in that home, there is peace, even during a bad phase. Zen teaches that when the mind is still, the heart speaks. But we rarely give the heart a chance to speak because the mind is always shouting. Through mindfulness, we turn the volume down. We let the heart breathe again. And what it often says is simple: you are already strong. Just stay. Many people ask, how do I become unshakable? The answer is, don't try to be unshakable. Just notice when you're shaking. And instead of hiding it, bring awareness to it. In that gentle looking, your roots grow deeper. That is the Zen way. There's a beautiful story in Zen. A student asks the master, how do I find peace? The master replies, return to the breath and stay with it. The student says, is it really that simple? The master smiles, simple, yes. Easy, no, but worth it always. In your hardest moment, the mind will try to run wild. It will want to think, fix, solve, worry. That is okay. You don't have to stop the thoughts. You just have to watch them. You don't have to wrestle them. You just have to sit beside them. Thoughts are like clouds. Let them pass. So, when you're in a bad phase and it feels like the world is falling apart, come back. Come back to the breath, to your feet on the ground, to the sounds around you. This is the power of mindfulness. It brings you back to now. And in now, you're okay. You are safe. Even if you're hurting, you are breathing. That's the start. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you notice that most of your suffering lives in the mind, not in the moment. And once you start to see that, you begin to loosen the grip of fear, regret, and anger. So walk gently, breathe slowly, and stay with yourself. Every moment of awareness is a step forward. Inner strength is not built in grand gestures. It's built in the quiet decision to stay awake when life gets dark. And when you learn to stay awake in the dark, you realize the light was always inside you. Detachment from outcomes and expectations. Sit down, child. Let's talk gently, like the way morning light falls through trees. You've walked some distance already, haven't you? You felt the pain. You've seen things break, plans fail, people leave, and hopes fall flat. But let me ask you something softly. How many of your deepest disappointments were simply because something didn't go the way you expected? Think slowly. Was the pain in the event, or in your mind's story of how it should have gone? This is what I want to share with you today. One of the most powerful truths from the Buddhist path: learn to let go of outcomes. Let go of expectations. Let go of the picture in your head. Because suffering often doesn't come from reality. It comes from the gap between reality and expectation. You wanted someone to treat you kindly. They didn't. You planned something to work perfectly. It failed. You gave love. and expected it to return in the same shape. But life doesn't always play along with the picture we paint in our minds. The Buddha taught that attachment is one of the roots of suffering. And attachment doesn't just mean clinging to people or objects. It means clinging to ideas, stories, hopes, and dreams we create. We hold tight to how we want things to be. And when they're not that way, we hurt. Let me give you an image. Imagine you're holding a rope very tightly, and someone is pulling from the other end. The tighter you grip, the more it burns your hand. Now imagine, what if you just let go? That is the essence of this part of your journey. Let go of the rope. Let go of how you think things should turn out. Let go of how people should act. Let go of who should stay and who should understand you. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you don't try. It means you act, you speak, you give with all your heart, but you do not become a slave to what happens next. That is true freedom. That is what the Zen mind means when it says, do your best, and then let the wind decide. Many people live with this silent tension. They want to control the outcome of everything. If they meditate, they expect peace. If they love, they expect love. If they're kind, they expect kindness. But the truth is, you're only in control of your actions, not the results. You may plant seeds, but you cannot command the rain. When you stop depending on results, your heart becomes lighter. You do what is right because it is right, not because it will give you a reward. This is how warriors of the spirit are built. In Buddhism, this practice is called non-attachment. It is not coldness. It is clarity. You love deeply, but without chains. You work hard, but without fear. You let go, not because you don't care, but because you trust that life has a rhythm deeper than your plans. When someone does not meet your expectations, instead of being angry, ask, was I attached to something that didn't belong to me? When something doesn't go as planned, instead of falling apart, ask, did I try my best? Then why should I suffer for what is beyond me? You're learning something now that very few people learn. Peace doesn't come from control. It comes from release. Let me share a small story with you. A monk once asked his teacher, Master, how do I stop being angry when people don't act the way I expect? The master said, imagine giving a gift to someone, but they don't accept it. Who does the gift belong to? The monk replied, it still belongs to me. The master smiled. Exactly. When someone doesn't give you what you expect, your anger is the unaccepted gift. Keep it or let it go. The choice is yours. This lesson isn't learned in one day. It comes with awareness, with falling and rising again. Every time you feel hurt because something didn't happen your way, pause. Ask yourself, am I hurt, or is my expectation hurt? If you begin to notice this difference, your mind will open. You'll begin to see that the world never promised to walk on the lines you drew. It dances to its own rhythm, and the more you flow with it, the less you suffer. You may still have goals. You may still have dreams. But now, you'll move toward them with a lighter heart. You'll say, I give my best, and I leave the rest. This is the heart of peace. This is the path that brings quiet even during the storm. This is how you survive bad phases, not by winning over life, but by understanding it. You're walking through something difficult right now. But maybe, just maybe, what you expected is not what you need. Maybe this path is giving you something deeper, a lesson, a strength, a freedom you never knew you needed. Don't rush. Don't try to fix everything. Don't try to control everyone. Just be still. Breathe. Let go a little today. Trust a little more. Act with love, but detach from the reward. And you will see, your suffering will begin to fade. Your heart will grow quiet. And your spirit, it will finally feel light again. That is the way. That is the Zen. And that is the secret no storm can take away from you. Embracing silence and solitude in difficult times. Sit down for a moment, just you and your breath. No noise, no rush, just stillness. Can you feel how rare that is? When a person is going through a bad phase, they often try to escape through people, phones, noise, distractions, anything to not feel what's inside. But sometimes the answer is not outside. Sometimes the real healing begins in silence and solitude. Now, listen carefully. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the hunger for others. Solitude is the deep meeting with yourself. A bad phase becomes worse when we are afraid to be alone. But Buddhism teaches something very different. It says, if you can sit with your pain without fear, it will slowly become your teacher. When you sit in silence, without trying to change anything, you begin to hear the voice you always ignore, your own. And that voice knows more than you think. The problem is, we spend our whole life hearing everyone else, but never truly listening to our own mind. A Zen monk once said, when the water is muddy, don't stir it. Just let it settle. Silence is that settling. You don't need to fight your thoughts. Just let them pass like clouds in the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. You may feel like you're breaking inside, but that's just your old self cracking, making space for something new. In the noise of the world, you miss this slow, gentle rebirth. But in solitude, you see it clearly. People fear being alone because they think they are empty. But being empty is not bad. In fact, in Buddhism, emptiness is beautiful. It means open, free, peaceful. When a cup is empty, it can hold tea. When your mind is empty, it can hold truth. Think of a tree in winter. No leaves, no fruit, no flowers, just stillness. Is the tree dead? No, it's gathering strength, preparing for spring. Your solitude is that winter. Don't be afraid of it. Stay with it. Something is growing in you, even if you can't see it yet. In Zen practice, monks spend hours just sitting, not doing, just being. They do this not because they are bored, but because they know the greatest truths are not found in words, but in silence. In your bad phase, this is your time to sit. Breathe. Watch. Feel. You don't need answers today. You just need patience. Let the silence do its slow work. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet understanding that you are still alive, still here, still breathing, and that is enough. There's no rush. Pain will try to pull you into urgency. Fix it now. Escape it now. But the wise one waits, watches, allows. This is not weakness. This is strength without shouting. The Buddha meditated under a tree for days in silence. He faced all his fears, pain, anger, loss, even death, and he didn't fight. He just stayed present. And that's how he became free. Not by running, by sitting. Can you sit like that? Not for hours, just 5 minutes. Sit with your pain. Breathe into it. Don't judge it. Don't aim it. Just allow it to be there. And notice how, little by little, it loses its power over you. Remember, solitude doesn't mean cutting people off. It means finding moments where you return to yourself, where you stop depending on others to fix what only you can understand. It's your inner room. Go there often. Even the wind becomes music in silence. Even your heartbeat becomes prayer. You realize that you're not broken, just buried under layers of noise, expectation, fear. In solitude, those layers slowly peel away. Let your bad phase be a time where you don't just survive, but reflect. Ask yourself, what am I learning? Who am I without distractions? What pain am I holding on to that I can now gently release? This part of your journey is quiet, but it is powerful. Most people miss it because they rush. Don't rush. Breathe. Feel. Heal. The most important conversations you will ever have are the ones you have in silence, with yourself. Sometimes, life takes away everything just so you can finally see what remains. And in that silence, you may realize what remains is enough. Don't be afraid of being alone. Be afraid of never meeting yourself. Now go. Find a small corner. Sit. Close your eyes. Let go of all the noise. And listen. You're not lost. You're simply returning home to yourself. Karma and the deeper meaning of hardships. The Zen Master sat quietly beneath the old tree, the gentle breeze playing with his robes. His eyes, calm like a still lake, looked at the gathered seekers. They had come with heavy hearts, worn down by pain and hardship. They wanted to know, why do we suffer? Why do bad things happen? The Master smiled softly and began to speak. Life is like a vast river, flowing without pause. Sometimes the water is calm and clear, and sometimes it rushes wild and muddy. We do not control the river. We cannot stop its flow, but we can learn to float with it, to move with its current without being pulled under. Many sat in silence. They wish to understand the deeper truth behind their suffering. You ask, why am I facing so many difficulties? Why do bad things keep happening to me? In Buddhism, we call this the law of karma. Karma means action. Every action, every thought, every word we speak creates a ripple in the river of life. Some ripples bring calm waters, others bring storms. Yet, all are part of the flow. The Master's voice was steady and clear. But karma is not punishment. It is not reward. It is simply the natural result of cause and effect. Like planting a seed. If you plant a seed of kindness, it grows into a tree that offers shade. If you plant a seed of anger, it grows into a thorn bush that pricks and hurts. The fruit depends on the seed. He paused and looked at each seeker, as if planting seeds of wisdom in their hearts. When you face hardship, it is easy to feel like a victim. You may think, why is this happening to me? I do not deserve this. But karma teaches us that suffering is not random. It is a reflection of past causes, sometimes from this life, sometimes from lives long past. A few lowered their heads. The idea was unsettling but truthful. Yet, there is hope, the Master said with a gentle smile. Karma is not fixed. It is not fate. You're not trapped in chains. Each moment is an opportunity to change the direction of your life. How? A young woman asked. By creating new causes, the Master answered. By planting seeds of goodness, patience, compassion, and wisdom. When you suffer, do not run from it or curse it. Sit with it like a teacher. Listen carefully to what it tells you. Every hardship carries a lesson. He took a deep breath and continued. For example, anger often leads to pain. But if you practice patience, you break the cycle. If you respond to cruelty with kindness, you soften the heart that would harm you. This does not mean being weak or passive. It means being strong enough to choose your actions with awareness. The Master's words began to settle like dew on dry leaves. Think of your life as a garden, he said. You cannot control the weather, but you can choose what to plant and how to care for it. Your past actions created the soil you stand on now. But today, this very moment, you can plant new seeds that will grow into peace and happiness. A young man raised his hand. But Master, he said, what about suffering that seems unfair? When bad things happen to good people, what is the lesson then? The Master nodded kindly. Life is not always fair. The river sometimes floods without warning. But even floods bring new life. Hardship can wash away what is no longer useful, clearing space for growth. Sometimes the most difficult times open the door to awakening. He looked far into the distance, as if seeing beyond time itself. When the Buddha faced great suffering, he did not blame the world or fate. He looked deeply into the nature of suffering and discovered a path to freedom. This path is open to all, no matter how dark the night. The Master's voice was soft but carried great power. Karma is like a mirror. It shows us what we have done and who we are becoming. It asks us to be responsible, not to blame others. It asks us to wake up and live with intention. Remember, he said, your present actions shape your future. Every kind word, every moment of patience, every breath of mindfulness is a seed. Plant them carefully. Water them with love. The seekers looked at each other, hope returning to their eyes. You are not alone in your struggle, the Master said. We are all connected in this river of life. Helping others heal helps you heal too. Compassion is the light that guides us through the darkest waters. He smiled again, peaceful and wise. Surviving a bad phase is not about escaping pain. It is about understanding it, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone to awakening. You do not suffer because you are weak. You suffer because you're learning to be strong in a world that is always changing. The Master's words hung in the air, like a gentle invitation. Walk the path of kindness, patience, and wisdom. This is the way to transform your karma and to find freedom from suffering. And with that, the seekers bowed, their hearts lighter, ready to face their challenges anew, developing resilience through right view and right thought. Imagine a tree in the middle of a storm. The wind howls. The rain beats down hard. The branches bend low, sometimes breaking, but the tree remains rooted. It doesn't fight the storm. It doesn't wish the storm away. It simply stands firm with calm acceptance. This is resilience, not just surviving the storm, but growing stronger through it. But how do we become like that tree? How do we find strength inside when the world outside feels like chaos? Buddhism offers a path called the Noble Eightfold Path. Two of its steps, right view and right thought, are like the roots of our inner tree. They give us the foundation to face life's storms without falling apart. Right view means seeing things clearly, without illusions or false hopes. It means understanding that life is always changing. Pain, joy, success, failure, all rise and fall like waves in the ocean. No feeling or event lasts forever. When you truly see this, your heart begins to relax. Why? Because you stop clinging to things that cannot stay. You stop fearing change. You stop blaming yourself or others for your pain. Instead, you begin to see that pain is part of the natural flow of life. Right thought means choosing your attitude carefully. It means letting go of anger, hatred, and greed. Instead, it means filling your mind with kindness, compassion, and wisdom. When a bad phase hits, it's easy to fall into negative thinking. Why me? This is unfair. I hate this situation. I want it gone. These thoughts are like heavy chains tying you down. They make the storm feel stronger than it really is. But right thought invites you to breathe deeply and change the story. Instead of fighting the storm with hate, you say, "This is hard, but I will be kind to myself. I will learn what this moment can teach me." This doesn't mean pretending to be happy or ignoring your pain. It means looking at your pain with gentle eyes, like a friend who is hurting. You acknowledge it. You accept it. You do not let it control you. Here is a story to understand this better. A disciple once came to the Buddha, troubled by harsh words from others. He said, "I cannot stop feeling angry and hurt." The Buddha replied, "Imagine someone offers you a gift, but you do not take it. To whom does the gift belong?" The disciple thought and said, "It belongs to the one who gave it." The Buddha smiled and said, "If someone speaks harshly to you, but you do not accept those words in your heart, to whom does the anger belong?" The disciple understood. The anger belongs to the one who speaks, unless you choose to carry it inside yourself. This is right thought in action. You do not allow harmful thoughts to take root inside your mind. You protect your peace like the tree protects its roots. Right view and right thought work together. When you see life clearly, you naturally think kindly. When you think kindly, your view becomes clearer. This circle helps you build resilience step by step. Each time a hard moment comes, you don't crumble. You bend, you learn, you grow. Many people think resilience means pushing harder or pretending to be strong. But Buddhism teaches the opposite. True resilience is gentle. It is patient. It is wise. It says, "When a storm rages, I will not resist it with force. I will watch it, understand it, and wait for it to pass." This waiting is not weakness. It is power. Power rooted in understanding, not in blind strength. To practice this, begin with simple daily steps. When a difficult thought arises, notice it. Don't run away or grab it. Just see it clearly. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If it's not, gently let it go. Imagine it as a cloud passing in the sky. Then bring to mind a kind thought. Something like, "I wish to be peaceful," or "May I be free from suffering." This small practice trains your mind to stay calm even when life is stormy. Remember, no one is perfect at this. The mind will wander. The pain will return. But each time you practice, you plant a seed of strength. Over time, those seeds grow into deep roots. Roots that hold you steady no matter what comes. In the words of the Buddha, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, the wise are not moved by praise or blame. Praise and blame here represent all the ups and downs of life, good moments and bad. The wise person, grounded in right view and right thought, accepts both without losing balance. You might wonder, how do I start seeing things this way? How do I keep practicing when I feel so weak? The answer lies in patience and kindness toward yourself. Survival in a bad phase isn't about rushing to fix everything. It's about learning to be with yourself, even the parts you don't like. When you see your pain clearly, without judgment, you stop feeding it with fear and anger. And when your thoughts become kind, your heart softens. This softening is the beginning of true resilience. It's not built on hardness or resistance, but on gentle acceptance and understanding. So next time life shakes you, remember the tree in the storm. Bend if you must, but do not break. See the storm for what it is, temporary. Choose your thoughts carefully, like a gardener chooses seeds to plant. And trust that after every storm, the sun will shine again. This is the power of right view and right thought. Not magic, not quick fixes, but a quiet, steady way to survive, to grow, and to become free. Step by step, moment by moment, the mind learns to stay calm. The heart learns to stay open, and the spirit learns to stand strong. Like the tree, rooted deeply in the earth, welcoming every season with peace. Practical daily practices to stay calm and grounded. Listen carefully, dear one. Life doesn't always roar like a storm. Often, it's the quiet, ordinary days that test us the most. A look from someone that felt cold, a word from someone that felt sharp, a delay, a loss, a worry. These are the small stones that fill your pockets until you suddenly feel too heavy to walk. You may ask, what can I do when everything feels too much? My answer, do simple things the right way every day. Yes, the path is not far away. The path is where your feet already are. To survive your bad phase, you don't need big plans. You just need small, kind actions done again and again, like drops of water carving through stone. Let me show you. Start with your breath. It's with you always. But how often do you notice it? In the morning, before checking your phone or rushing to your duties, sit still. Just breathe. Slowly. Inhale and exhale. Feel the air moving in your body. This is not just breathing. This is you returning home to yourself. Next, walk slowly. You don't need a garden or a mountain. Even in your room, you can walk like a monk. Step by step, one foot after the other with full attention. Feel the ground. Feel your body moving. Let your mind follow your feet. This walking is not to reach a place. It is to remember you're alive. Now, when you eat as if it's the first time. Not with the TV, not with your phone, not in a rush. Just the food and your full presence. Notice the colors, the smell, the taste. Gratitude will come quietly into your heart. You'll realize this food is a gift. Even in a bad phase, you are still receiving care from the world. Then, throughout your day, try this pause. Yes, just stop for a moment. Wherever you are, seat, stand. It doesn't matter. Just pause. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Do not judge. Do not fix. Just notice. Awareness is the first step toward peace. Now, let's talk about one powerful practice, doing one thing at a time. When you wash the dishes, just wash. When you talk to someone, just talk. When you drink tea, just drink. Most suffering comes when your body is here, but your mind is everywhere. Be fully where you are, and you'll find calm hiding in the smallest moment. At night, before sleeping, don't carry the whole day into your dreams. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Think of 3 things you are grateful for, even small ones. Maybe the sound of rain, a kind message, a warm cup of water. This simple practice changes your mind gently. Gratitude softens even the hardest pain. Also write your thoughts. Not to post, not to share, but to understand yourself. Write what hurts. Write what you miss. Write what you hope for. Your mind will feel lighter. Your heart will stop shouting. Words on paper are like a river. They carry your pain away without drowning you. Speak less, listen more. When we speak too much, we often pour out confusion. But when we listen, truly listen, we connect deeply. Listen to people. Listen to silence. Listen to your own heart. Most answers you're looking for are already inside you. You just haven't been quiet enough to hear them. Practice loving kindness. Close your eyes and send silent wishes. May I be well. May I be peaceful. Then, slowly, send it to others, even to those who hurt you. May they be free from pain. This is not weakness. This is strength. You are rising above the storm. You are choosing light over shadow. Sometimes, clean your room like it is a temple. Not for guests, but for your own mind. A clean space is a kind space. When your surroundings are calm, your thoughts settle too. Light a candle. Open a window. Let the air move. Let peace enter. Also, choose your words carefully. Speak gently. Speak slowly. Words can heal or harm. When you speak with calm, you create calm. When you speak with anger, you carry fire. Every word is a seed. What are you planting? Practice patience. When something delays, when someone offends you, take a breath. Don't rush to react. Instead, watch. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most times it's not. Let it pass. Just like clouds. The sky never fights with the clouds. It simply stays open. Forgive, not for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness is not saying, it's okay. It's saying, I will not carry this anymore. Let go of grudges. They are heavy bags on a long walk. You don't need them. And yes, cry if you must. Crying is not a weakness. It is a release. A river must flow. Let your emotions move. Then, return to stillness. Now listen, all these practices are small, but they are strong. Like bamboo, soft yet unbreakable. Do them daily. Not perfectly, just sincerely. And even if you fail one day, begin again. The path of calm is not a line. It's a circle. You return to it again and again, and each time, it welcomes you. So, when you feel lost in your bad phase, remember, you are not alone. The breath, the step, the quiet, they are your companions. Use them. Trust them. Return to them. This is how you survive, not by force, but by presence. Not by escaping, but by being fully here, moment after moment, with eyes soft and heart open. Keep going, dear one. You are doing better than you think. Transforming pain into compassion and wisdom. Sit down quietly, my dear one. Let's talk. You have carried your pain for a long time. You've hidden your tears behind smiles. You've walked through storms when the world expected you to keep standing. And still, here you are, breathing, listening, trying. But now, let me ask you this. What if your pain is not here to destroy you? What if it is here to shape something inside you that has been asleep? Pain feels heavy, yes. It makes the heart ache and the mind tired. But pain can also become the strongest root from which compassion grows. And when compassion grows, wisdom follows like a shadow. In the old Buddhist stories, there was a woman named Kisa Gautami. Her child died. She went from house to house, crying, begging for medicine to bring her baby back. No one could help her. But finally, someone sent her to the Buddha. She went to him, and he said, "Bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never seen death." She ran out in hope. She knocked on doors. But at every house, she heard the same story. Yes, we have lost someone too. Her pain didn't go away, but something changed. She saw that she was not alone. Pain is not just hers. It is a thread that connects all human beings. She returned to the Buddha, empty-handed but full of understanding. That was the beginning of her healing. Not when she found a cure, but when she found connection. Now look at your life. Look at all the times you were broken. Look at the loneliness, the rejections, the losses. Were they just wounds? Or did they also open something deeper in you? Something softer, something more human? You see, when we are happy, we often forget others. But when we suffer, we remember. We become humble. We begin to notice the pain in others' eyes. And from there, compassion is born. This is why the Buddha said, "The lotus grows in muddy water." The lotus is beautiful, pure, untouched by the mud. But without that mud, it would never grow. Your suffering is the mud. Your heart is the lotus. Don't curse the mud. Use it. So how do we transform pain into compassion? First, stop asking, "Why me?" and begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" This small shift changes everything. It doesn't take the pain away, but it gives it a purpose. Second, sit with your pain. Don't run. Don't numb it. Just sit. Breathe. Listen. Say to yourself, "Yes, this hurts, but I'm strong enough to feel it." When you truly sit with pain without fear or resistance, it starts to melt, like ice under the sun. And as it melts, it waters the seeds of kindness within you. Third, Help someone else. Even in your worst moment, find a small way to bring comfort to another. Maybe just a kind word, a smile, a small gesture. In that moment, your pain becomes useful. It becomes light for someone else's darkness. There's a Japanese practice called kintsugi. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They repair it with gold. The cracks become part of the design, more beautiful than before. That's what pain can do to you. It can make you more beautiful, not less, but only if you let it. Wisdom is not found in books. It is found in living through something deeply, fully, and honestly. Now, think. What has your suffering taught you? Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it taught you who your real friends are. Maybe it showed you what really matters. Or maybe it simply taught you that you're still here, and that is enough. Buddhism does not say, don't feel. It says, feel everything, but don't become the feeling. You're not your pain. You are the one witnessing it. Like the sky watches the clouds. Let the cloud of pain pass, but don't forget the lessons it brought. Here's a small exercise. Today, when you feel sad, think of someone else who may be sad too. Send them a silent wish. May you be free from suffering. Do it even if you don't know them. That's compassion. That's how pain turns into light. Do you know why this is powerful? Because it stops your pain from becoming poison. It becomes medicine, not just for you, but for others. Pain is a teacher, a strict one, but also the most honest. If you listen, it shows you the truth of life, that everything is connected, that nothing is forever, and that love is the only thing worth holding on to. When you stop fighting your pain and start learning from it, something magical happens. You change. You become soft but not weak, kind but not blind, strong but not cold. And that is what Buddhism teaches. The middle way, not to escape pain, not to drown in it, but to walk through it with eyes open, heart open, step by step, breath by breath. So take one breath now, and one more, and say gently to yourself, this pain will not destroy me. It will shape me. And then go on, with grace, with compassion, with quiet power, because sometimes surviving is not about fighting hard. It's about softening deeply. And in that softness, wisdom begins. Letting go and trusting the path ahead. Let me sit with you now, like an old friend beside a quiet stream. You have walked a long path already. You have faced storms. You have wiped your own tears. And still, you are here. Still breathing. Still searching. That alone shows your strength. But now comes the most silent and powerful step, the art of letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. No, it means loosening the tight grip we hold on things that are already slipping away. It means releasing the weight we carry that was never truly ours. In Buddhism, we speak often of attachment, how our clinging to people, ideas, and outcomes causes us pain. And so, to truly survive a bad phase, you must learn not just to fight through it, but to let go of what was never in your control. Ask yourself gently, what am I holding that no longer holds me? Maybe it's a memory that hurts, a dream that didn't come true, a person who left, or perhaps it's the version of you who expected life to look different by now. Sit with it, name it, and then breathe. Breathe in stillness. Breathe out release. Letting go doesn't happen in one moment. It's not like dropping a stone. It's more like watching snow melt. Slowly, naturally, without force. It begins with acceptance. Accept that life didn't go your way. Accept that not all questions get answers. Accept that your heart feels heavy. And then, let that acceptance soften your chest. Some will say, but how do I know what to let go of? You will feel it. That tightness inside you, that's a sign. That exhausting replay in your mind, that's a clue. If it brings pain again and again without peace, perhaps it's time to open your hand. Now, trusting the path ahead, this is the second part. When we let go, we are not becoming empty. We're creating space. Space for something better, or quieter, or more true. Life always brings the next chapter, but it cannot enter if we are blocking the door with yesterday's furniture. Trusting does not mean we know what is coming. It means we stop trying to control it. Look at the river. It does not fight the rocks. It flows. It finds a way. Can you be like water? Can you flow around what you cannot change? In Buddhism, there's a teaching, let go or be dragged. Many people suffer not because of what happened, but because they won't release what happened. The story becomes a cage, and every day they lock themselves in with the same thoughts. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know how it ends. You just need to trust that with each mindful breath, you are planting seeds of peace. Even if nothing looks different outside, something inside you is shifting. Sometimes the mind says, "But what if I fall?" But the heart, when still, replies, "But what if you fly?" Start small. Let go of one thought today that keeps hurting you. Just one. When it comes, smile softly at it and tell it, "Not today." Replace it with silence or a kind word or a prayer. Every time you do this, you're teaching your heart to trust life again. Letting go also means forgiving yourself. Yes, you made mistakes. We all do. But punishment is not healing. Speak to yourself like you would speak to a dear friend who's hurting. Say, "I am learning. I'm growing. I am healing." You may not see the full picture yet, but the path is always there under your feet. One step, one breath, one moment at a time. When the heart is heavy, walk slower. When the mind is loud, sit in silence. When you don't know what to do nothing. Just breathe and let life catch up with you. Letting go is not weakness. It is bravery. It is the decision to stop living in the past and start trusting what could be. It is not forgetting. It is remembering without pain. So as you continue, carry less. Not because the journey is over, but because now you understand. Your hands must be empty to receive what's next. Look around. This moment, yes, this very one, is enough. Let be. You're not lost. You're becoming. Breathe and take the next step. The end of the phase, celebrating inner growth and healing. Sit down, my friend. Breathe slowly. This is the end of the storm. You have walked a long way. The road was not smooth. The sky was not always clear. But you're still here. You are alive. And more than that, you are now wiser. Can you feel that? Something inside you has changed, hasn't it? Let's not rush into more thoughts. For now, just be still. Let the silence speak. You have survived the bad phase. Not because you fought with the world. Not because you forced life to obey your wishes. But because you looked within. You understood the truth of life, slowly, gently. That is no small thing. Do you remember how heavy your heart was when we started this journey? Each day felt like a burden. You could not see the way forward. But you kept walking, step by step, breath by breath. That is the true strength of a human being. In Buddhism, we don't say, "I defeated pain." We say, "I understood pain." Because what we understand, we no longer fear. What we see clearly, we no longer run from. There's a story I want to tell you. A man once came to the Buddha and said, "I am tired of all this suffering. Please remove it from my life." The Buddha smiled and said, "I cannot do that, but I can teach you how to walk through it." And that is what you have done. You have learned to walk through your suffering. This is not the end of all problems. Life will still bring challenges. But now, you're no longer the same person. You have tools. You have clarity. You have peace. And that is what makes the difference. You may not have noticed, but along this path, something inside you became very still, very strong, like a tree that bends in the wind but never breaks. That is your inner self. That is your true nature. The bad phase did not destroy you. It revealed you. Now look at your reflection. You're no longer only the person who cried, who feared, who was broken. You're also the one who healed, who learned, who grew. That is worth celebrating, not with noise, but with quiet joy in your heart. And now, as we sit here together in the final part of this journey, I want you to remember, everything you need is already inside you. You do not need to search outside, not for peace, not for love, not for meaning. It is all within you. Pain came to teach you this, and now it has done its work. The sun rises again. The path is now open, but walk it slowly, with awareness, with gratitude, with love, not just for others, but for yourself too. And if life again becomes dark, if another bad phase comes one day, remember this. You have already survived once. You know how to survive again. You are no longer afraid of storms. You are the calm in the storm. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. That is more than enough. And now, before we say goodbye, I must tell you one last thing. There are so many people in this world who are going through what you once went through. They are hurting. They're lost. They don't know that there is a way out. You can be their light, not by giving advice, but by living your peace, by being still, by being kind. That is the greatest teaching of all. This is the end of our series, but not the end of your journey. Now you're ready to walk alone. But know this, I'm always here, in these words, in this silence, in this truth. And yes, one final thing. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So if this series gave you strength, if it brought light into your dark days, then don't leave quietly. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your small action can bring this teaching to someone who truly needs it. Even one share can reach a heart on the edge. Even one like can push this message forward. Help us spread peace the way peace came to you. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Feel the calm. This is the real victory. Not loud, not big, but deep, quiet. True, you survived, and you are free. When silence becomes your best friend. Life after survival, building a peaceful mind every day. Now that the storm has passed, my friend, you may feel something strange. It's quiet, too quiet. After we survive something difficult, our mind is still used to the noise, the fear, the questions, the fight. And when all that ends, there is space, but that space can feel unfamiliar, maybe even a little empty. That is okay. This is where real life begins. Not the one controlled by suffering, but the one built gently, moment by moment, with awareness. Many people think the goal is just to survive the bad phase. But true freedom begins after survival. You must learn how to live again, with peace, with balance, and with presence. The Buddha taught not only how to end suffering, but how to live joyfully after the suffering has ended. And joy does not mean laughter all the time. Joy means ease. Joy means being in this moment and not resisting it. That is the peace we now begin to build. Start small. When you open your eyes in the morning, don't jump into your phone or your plans. Just sit still for a few breaths. Notice that you are alive. Say to yourself gently, "This day is fresh. I am no longer who I was yesterday." This simple habit is the first stone in the temple of your new peaceful mind. When you eat, eat slowly. When you walk, walk fully aware. Don't rush anymore. You have already seen how rushing does not save us from pain. In fact, it pulls us deeper into it. Peace is not found in speed. Peace is found in stillness. You may ask, what if another bad phase comes again? And I will tell you, it may. Life flows in seasons. But now you have something you didn't have before understanding. That is your power. The mind is like a garden. You have pulled out many weeds. Now you must plant seeds of calm, of kindness, of awareness. And you must water them every day, not with force, but with patience, one breath at a time. Forgive yourself for the days when peace is not easy. Some days will still feel heavy. That does not mean you are back in darkness. It only means you are human. Clouds will come, but now you know that behind the clouds, the sky is always blue. Don't wait for big moments to feel joy. Joy hides in the small things, drinking warm tea, hearing a bird sing, smiling at a stranger. These moments are not small. They're the bricks that build your peaceful life. And let's talk about your thoughts. The mind that once screamed now whispers, but it still speaks. Old habits may return. Doubts may visit. You're not failing when this happens. You're only being given another chance to practice what you've learned. Each time you choose peace over panic, silence over noise, presence over distraction, you are building your peaceful mind. The Buddha said, "What we think, we become." That is not just a quote. It is a guide. So think gently. Think with care. Speak softly to yourself. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are a new moment, every moment. Spend time in nature. Trees don't rush. Rivers don't complain. The wind doesn't ask why. They just are. Be like them. Let your life be simple again. And now, give yourself the gift of not needing to fix everything. Let some questions remain unanswered. Let some wounds remain uncovered, for they will heal in their own time. If a painful memory comes, don't push it away. Sit with it. Offer it your calm. Watch it. Breathe with it, and it will lose its power. Now that you are building peace, it's time to protect it. That means saying no to what disturbs your balance. That means choosing rest over noise. That means letting go of people or habits that pull you back into suffering. Peace is not something outside that you must go find. It is already here. Your job now is to stop disturbing it. Every peaceful choice you make adds to your new life. Even when no one sees it, it counts. Even when it feels slow, it matters. Some people will not understand this new version of you. That's okay. You are not living to be understood. You are living to be free. Let your day be simple. Let your words be few. Let your heart be open. Let your breath be deep. The one who survives a storm learns not to build taller walls, but to build deeper roots. You are now rooted in truth. You are rooted in peace. No storm can take that away again. This is the art of living after survival. Not fighting, not escaping, but being here completely. You're not just a survivor anymore. You are peaceful. You are whole. You are awake. And now, let it continue.